Hi everyone, hope you're all staying safe and healthy during this time. So, you have now all learned about the series of events that led up to the Titanic colliding with the massive iceberg. Today, we are going to be learning about an even scarier series of events. We are going to read about what happened as the Titanic crashed into this iceberg, and passengers and crew were forced to act quickly to save as many lives as possible in moments of distress. As you read, again, feel free to take notes on anything that you found interesting or anything that you might have questions about. Also, as you read, try to imagine how the boat must have looked during the scary moments to prepare for your assignment for this lesson, which I will explain to you in a few moments. As I read about the Titanic meeting its devastating fate and crashing into the iceberg, I could not imagine what I would have felt if I had experienced this situation. Passengers began this journey expecting to start new lives and be a part of history riding on the first massive cruise ship ever built. They instead were met with an iceberg crashing into their ship, causing them to fight for their lives and for the lives of their loved ones. The iceberg immediately caused six massive openings in the large ship, allowing water to quickly and forcefully pour in. This occurred in the boiler room, where workers had to fight to escape from waist-deep water. One of the ship's workers pulled a switch to try to contain the influx of water in a smaller space. However, this caused the workers who were in the boiler room to have to scramble for their lives to avoid drowning in this small space. So around 12:05 a.m., the ship's crew saw how desperate the situation was becoming, and the captain had no other choice but to begin to prepare the lifeboats. This instilled a panic amongst the passengers, but the ship's crew could tell that the ship would likely sink and they needed to work to save as many lives of the passengers as possible. Unfortunately, there were only 20 lifeboats and there were 2,200 people on board. It was clear that the lifeboats would not be able to hold the large number of people aboard the Titanic. The crew wanted passengers to enter the lifeboats first before lowering the boats to the ocean. Again, however, they were not prepared for any sort of emergency, as we previously learned. There was no sense of organization, as the crew members did not know which lifeboat they were assigned to lower. Others simply did not know how to work lifeboats. It was really unfortunate that the crew did not have any evacuation plans in place and did not do any training to ensure the safety of the passengers and prepare for any type of emergency. Just 1 hour after preparing the lifeboats, the front of the Titanic began sinking even deeper into the ocean. This led to even more panic as the passengers realized how much danger they were actually in, which led to a chaotic situation. They all began to scramble to reach a lifeboat. However, the crew only allowed women and children to enter these boats. Families were separated, and men struggled to remain with their wives and children. The peace and serenity of this beautiful cruise ship quickly turned to a scene of panic and hopelessness. So today, your task will be to read three sections from the text, The Titanic's Last Hours. You will read the sections titled Facing a Flood, Preparing the Lifeboats, and Sinking Deeper. After you read all three of these sections, I want you to choose just one of these sections to illustrate. You will draw a scene from the section that you chose on a blank piece of paper. For example, if you were to read about the Titanic crashing into the iceberg, as you learned in the previous lesson, you could draw what the boat looked like as it crashed into the iceberg and began to sink. You need to fill the entire page, and I would like you to color in at least one part of your drawing if possible. Please identify which section of the text your drawing comes from so I know where to look when I'm looking at your beautiful artwork. Feel free to get as creative as possible with your drawings, and again, please feel free to reach out to me if you need help with any ideas.